how would you describe this series? How would you like kind of button this thing into just a few words?
I feel like we keep on saying it's a wild ride. Pardon the driving pun.
Makes a lot of sense.
That seems to be the one that keeps on coming up, and it just makes sense.
Yeah, two people who shouldn't fall in love, and
chaos ensues.
I mean, it is an action romance, thriller type deal.
Yeah, it feels like it's just got so many different genres sort of intertwined together, which is so much fun to film, and hopefully is entertaining, obviously.
How much does the Spanish version play into at least your inspiration or interpretation of these characters? Because it is same story, but it feels different. You've done your own thing with it. Totally.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think part of that, most of that is like the environment changes so much. And we didn't watch the Spanish one before we started filming. We did it after because you don't want to, like that can sometimes influence you not in a helpful way. So we just stuck with the book, and then you get what you get from that yourself.
I think it was important that we sort of, like, obviously not naive to the fact that the Spanish version is massive and
huge.
So good now, obviously having seen it. And I think, I came into it not wanting to watch that and sort of then have the pressure of like having to replicate, I guess, or like, of kind of try and copy what Nicole did so amazingly. So coming into it and just basing off the book and the script that we had felt like the easiest way to approach. And then it was so nice afterwards we watched the Spanish movie together and could celebrate it and were like so excited and
to see what they've done with it and how the similarities and the differences, because like you said, I truly believe that we have, like, they're so different. They're obviously based on the same story, but you change the environment, you change the actors, you change everything. It produces something completely different. Yeah,
it is very cool. It's like cool to see and then put them next to one another and then compare. But then, I mean, who knows? Like, this series has so much more to go as well. Like, this is just the first of what will be 3.
Hopefully, I mean, that's the dream.
That's the plan.
There's 3 books, obviously, and like the Spanish movie are doing 3. So we're hoping.
Can we talk? Can we talk about the audition process?
Yeah,
absolutely.
What do you get first? Like, what shows up in your email?
It's like a casting brief from your agent, and it
says My Fault London.
Did you tape?
I did a tape, yeah.
So this is usually you do a self-tape. Nowadays it's a self-tape, but actually this is for this job. I didn't do any self-tape. I did all
straight to round 2 for Matt.
No, not in that way. Like, I got to meet the casting director in person and
so cool.
I did all my, which is not
rare.
not as
I think since COVID especially, self-tapes is so much easier.
So you get it through with a couple of sides where you don't get the full script, and you just have a brief about the character and what they're planning to do with the project, and then
hope for the best.
Either you film them in your bedroom against a wall
with your mum reading the other part.
Then you send that off and hope for the best. But in my case, I went into the casting agent's office and we sat together in a room like this, and we just read the scenes together.
What were the scenes?
For my tape, I did my first tape. I just did one scene, which was the when Nick kicks Noah out of the car onto, in our version, the pavement sidewalk situation, and it's like one of quite early on in the film. But I remember doing that scene and just loving their dynamic, and I was like, I feel like sometimes when doing a tape, a script feels easier to read and it feels natural, and I think when it does feel natural is when you're like, maybe this is something that I could do or like really want to do, because it felt normal, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's definitely felt that.
What do you mean by natural? Like that you can envision it easily or just flow?
Yeah,
like,
it just flows, I guess. I mean, it was like I found it easy to do the scene and to be that character, maybe because, I don't know, I feel quite similar to my character in a few ways. And I guess that must have come across for then to have a next round, and just felt nice to do, felt natural.
Wasn't it?
It was on Zoom.
It was on Zoom?
Yeah.
Wow, you went right to
He went right to the finals. Yeah.
Because then my second round was with
Danny and Charlotte.
No. Was with
Theo Park, the
it was with
director.
Theo Park. So my first round was with her assistant. The second round was with Theo Park, the casting agent. And the third round was with Danny and Charlotte, our directors. And then the fourth round was with you in the chemistry read.
It was. I'm so glad that we've got that sorted out.
What a process.
What was the first scene that you guys did together in the chemistry read?
We did.
That scene, the one that I did in my tape.
Yeah.
The Nick and Noah, the car scene, yeah.
Which is, it's such a weird process. You walk into a room full of like producers, directors, and we meet for the first time, literally like this, and we meet for the first time, and then when you're ready, then we just run the scene and hope for the best. And then we just get direction and we redo it.
Did you guys have chemistry from the moment you met? Because you can really feel it on screen the moment you guys like bump into each other in the kitchen.
I'd say we did.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I remember you walking in, because I didn't know I had the part yet, but I read with like 3 boys to play Nick, and Matt was the first that came in. And immediately I just thought, oh, we're friends. Like, you're just like all of my friends, and I can really see you being a friend. I think that's an immediate just like sign of being comfortable with someone, right? And I think to have chemistry, you kind of have to. Well, maybe not in Nick and Noah's case. They're not comfortable with each other, and they definitely have chemistry. But for us, it's so helpful being like able to have a friendship and then just build off that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, after we got cast, we very quickly started realizing we're very similar people and we get along very well.
And our brains,
which is always
kind of
thank
molded.
God. Yeah.
How does that make this whole process easier?
In literally every way possible.
Every single way possible.
Like on set, it's so much easier just being with a friend.
That period of our life, we were each other's closest person, I'd say.
Because we're just spending literally all day, every day with each other.
Yeah, I mean, before we even started filming, we filmed the first 2 weeks in Tenerife, and before we even began filming, we had like 4 days off in the hotel where we'd just like hanging by the pool and like getting to know each other and like running scenes.
So surreal.
Like,
we're both just like,
lives?
what the hell is going on? But like, we have to get to know each other so well.
Yeah, and we like we sat next to each other on the plane out there, and we just talked
for 5 hours.
Yeah, for 5 hours straight, just the whole time. And that just helps so much. As soon as you get onto set, you've already got some sort of like language, and you're comfortable with each other. And
I think it helps like off camera, it helps on camera being comfortable with each other, but also in all of like the post filming, like having somebody that we're so being able to help each other and like kind of hold hands and be like,
because we were at the same point in our careers, so it's like
we're
this
just
is
in it
all
together,
exciting, and in it we've got each other through it, which is so nice.
Yeah, very lucky.
Yeah, it is interesting. You were at very like somewhat similar points in your careers before this like came into your lives.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Yeah, so
that it's worked out
it was
that
the
way.
same thing. It meant the same thing for us, didn't it? Which was so nice to
be
to
in
have.
it with someone.
Yeah.